Once upon a time, in the small rustic village of Ardhollow, life had a rhythm as predictable as the seasons. The villagers rose with the sun, worked in the fields, and returned home under the soft glow of twilight. Among them was a man named Derek, known for his stern demeanor and hard work. His wife, Alina, had passed away during childbirth, leaving Derek to raise their son, Amon, alone. However, Amon was not the son Derek had hoped for. He was born blind, a defect that Derek saw as a burden rather than a blessing. One chilly autumn evening, Derek sat alone in the small, dimly lit kitchen of their modest cottage, staring into his mug of ale. The crackling of the fire was the only sound that accompanied his thoughts until a sharp knock on the door broke the silence. Who could it be at this hour? Derek muttered, rising from his seat. He opened the door to reveal a cloaked stranger, his face partially obscured by the shadows of his hood. "Good evening, Derek," the stranger said, his voice smooth and eerily calm. "May I come in?" Derek hesitated, his instincts warning him of potential danger. But curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped aside, allowing the stranger to enter. "Who are you?" Derek asked, eyeing the stranger warily. "My name is Lucian," the man replied, lowering his hood to reveal striking features and piercing eyes. "I have a proposition for you." Derek's interest piqued. He gestured for Lucian to sit. "What kind of proposition?" Lucian leaned forward, his eyes glinting in the firelight. "I know of your son, Amon. I know he is blind and you see no use for him." Derek's jaw tightened. "What of it?" "I am willing to take him off your hands," Lucian said. "In exchange, I will give you enough gold to live comfortably for the rest of your days." Derek's heart pounded in his chest. The prospect of wealth was enticing, but the idea of selling his own son left a bitter taste in his mouth. "Why would you want him?" Lucian smiled, a cold, calculating smile. "That is not for you to worry about. All you need to know is that I will provide for him and you will be free of your burden." Derek stood, pacing the small kitchen. He glanced toward the door of Amon's room, where his son slept peacefully, oblivious to the conversation. The decision weighed heavily on him, but the promise of gold was too tempting to resist. "How much gold?" Derek finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lucian reached into his cloak and produced a small, ornate chest. He opened it, revealing rows of glittering coins. "Enough to change your life forever," he said. Derek's eyes widened at the sight. He took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. "All right," he said, his voice firm. "It's a deal." Lucian's smile widened. "Excellent. I will take the boy tonight." Derek nodded, his heart heavy with a mix of relief and guilt. He led Lucian to Amon's room and gently shook the boy awake. "Amon," Derek said softly, "this man is going to take you to a new home." Amon rubbed his eyes, confusion etched on his face. "But why, father? I want to stay with you." Derek swallowed hard, fighting back tears. "This is for the best, Amon. You'll be better off with him." Lucian stepped forward, placing a reassuring hand on Amon's shoulder. "Don't worry, child. You will be well taken care of." Amon clung to his father's hand, fear and uncertainty in his blind eyes. But Derek gently pried his fingers loose, forcing a weak smile. "Be brave, Amon. This is your chance for a better life." Lucian led Amon out of the cottage, leaving Derek standing in the doorway, the weight of his decision bearing down on him. As the night swallowed them, Derek closed the door, staring at the chest of gold on the table. It was a new beginning for him, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he had lost something far more valuable than gold. Amon's journey with Lucian had just begun, and little did he know, it would lead him to a destiny far beyond his wildest dreams. The carriage moved swiftly through the darkened forest, the wheels rattling over uneven ground. Amon sat quietly, his small frame trembling with fear. He couldn't see where they were going, and the stranger's presence beside him offered little comfort. "Where are we going?" Amon finally asked, his voice barely a whisper. Lucian looked at him, his expression softening. "To a place where you will be cared for, Amon. a place where you will find your true purpose. Amon's heart ached for the familiar warmth of his father's home, despite the coldness that often accompanied it. He hugged his knees to his chest, trying to draw strength from within. After what felt like hours, the carriage came to a halt. Lucian helped Amon out, guiding him up a stone path toward a large, echoing building. The air was thick with the scent of flowers and fresh earth, a stark contrast to the harsh wooden smell of his father's cottage. "Welcome to Haven Manor," Lucian said, his voice filled with an odd mix of pride and mystery. Amon listened intently, trying to make sense of his surroundings. The manor's interior was filled with soft murmurs and the gentle plucking of strings. It sounded almost like a dream, a world far removed from the one he knew. "Who lives here?" Amon asked as they walked down a long hallway. "A very special group of people," Lucian replied. "Each of them has a unique gift, just like you." Amon frowned. "But I have no gift. I'm just blind." Lucian chuckled softly. "You'll soon learn that blindness can be a gift, Amon. Your other senses are sharper because of it. You just need to discover how to use them." They stopped in front of a large wooden door. Lucian knocked, and a moment later, it creaked open to reveal a tall, elegant woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Good evening, Lucian," she greeted. "And who is this young one?" "This is Amon," Lucian said. "I believe he has great potential." The woman crouched down to Amon's level. "Hello, Amon. My name is Leora. I'm the caretaker here. You're safe now." Amon felt the sincerity in her voice and nodded, feeling a small flicker of hope. "Come," Leora said, taking Amon's hand gently. "Let's get you settled in." They walked through the manor, passing rooms filled with music, laughter, and the hum of creativity. Leora led Amon to a cozy room with a bed, a small desk, and a window that let in the cool night breeze. "This will be your room," she said. "You can rest here tonight. Tomorrow we'll begin to explore your talents." Amon sat on the bed, feeling the softness of the sheets. "What talents?" he asked, confusion clouding his thoughts. Leora smiled. "You'll see, or rather, you'll hear." She left him to rest, closing the door softly behind her. Amon lay down, his mind swirling with the events of the day. He missed his father, despite everything, but there was a strange sense of anticipation building inside him. The next morning, Amon was awakened by the sound of gentle tapping on his door. He sat up, rubbing his eyes as Leora entered. "Good morning, Amon," she said cheerfully. "Did you sleep well?" He nodded. "Yes, thank you." "Wonderful," she replied. "Today, you'll meet some of the others and see what life here is like." Leora guided Amon to a large, sunlit room where several children and adults were gathered. They were engaged in various activities, painting, sculpting, and playing instruments. The air was filled with the sound of music and laughter. "Amon, these are your new friends," Leora said. "Everyone here has a special ability. You'll soon find yours too." Amon listened to the melodies floating through the room, feeling an inexplicable pull towards the music. He was introduced to several children, each of whom greeted him warmly, making him feel more at ease. As the days passed, Amon began to participate in the activities. He found himself drawn to the sound of the piano, its rich, resonant notes calling to him. One afternoon, as he listened to a girl named Serafina play, he felt an urge to try it himself. Can I try?" Amon asked hesitantly. Serafina smiled and guided him to the bench. "Of course, Amon. Just feel the keys and let your fingers explore." Amon placed his hands on the keys, feeling their smoothness. He pressed a key, and the note rang out clear and pure. He played another and then another, his fingers moving tentatively at first, but soon finding a rhythm. He began to play a simple tune, one he had heard Serafina play many times. The notes flowed through him, and he lost himself in the music. When he finished, the room was silent, and he felt a sense of accomplishment he had never known. "That was beautiful, Amon," Leora said softly. "You have a gift." Amon's heart swelled with pride. For the first time, he felt that his blindness was not a curse, but a unique part of who he was. He had found his voice in the music, and he knew his journey was only just beginning.